Hey.
1 second here.
Did you guys hear that?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
I fixed it.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes, I do. What's your name? And everyone can too. What's your
The
name? Where
era
you
of
calling
the
from?
pajama boy is over.
This is Ethan calling from Northern California.
All right, awesome. Just stand back a little bit from your phone. It's a little bit hot and it's like distorting a little bit.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. First time caller, just first of all, I want to say happy birthday to Michael. It was difficult at first to watch some of the Throwback Thursdays, but today was definitely a really good one to watch. And just, he's going to be missed. I know probably you guys more, but he definitely helped along with the crew there, kind of push me even more or less than I was before. So just wanted to say thank you to all you guys for what you do. And then just wanted to bring up, kind of not stepping on your toes, Matt, with your QAnon podcast you're going to be doing, but how do you guys see us being able to kind of push back against just the craziness that you're seeing all over social media, just crazy conspiracy theories that are easily disproven? Like the newest one now is like pedophiles trying to get recognized status and just the hashtag save the children, this complete nonsense that's taking over.
Right.
But with any actual research, is like, this is nonsense. Like, why is this stuff trending, and how do you push back, or do you just kind of shut off and say, you know what, these people are lost causes?
So the first thing I would just say, don't focus on the people who are victimized from it. Focus on the sort of material impetus behind it. So to name an example, this Beirut explosion, right? A day after that happened, you saw this footage of what looked like a missile coming down and striking where it was, and people were saying it was Israel. Now, you look at the footage of it, and they didn't even motion blur the missile, so they just took a stock footage of a missile and made it go very fast across the thing. A bad fake, right? But the reason it was faked is because, frankly, the ruling elite in Lebanon would love people to blame Israel for certain things like this. Likewise with the pedophile stuff. There is a protected pedophile problem in this country, right? Jeffrey Epstein was told, Acosta was told by somebody, we don't know who, apparently the reporters, we can't get to the bottom of who told Acosta to stand down because Epstein's related to intelligence. But guess what? He was able to go on traffic some more teenage girls because of that reason. So there, and what I would suggest about that stuff is anytime that blackmail, I would say this is one of the reasons why homosexuality was criminalized for so long, is because it was a useful blackmail asset. And I think that's the same thing you have with this pedophilia stuff now. So the general answer is there are powerful people that want to add noise to the signal. And so we can't see the signal because we have all this information technology now that we can access this stuff, that you need to fill it with bullshit. And I mean, people always believe bullshit, right? The people used to believe in fairies.
Right.
Now it's just digital bullshit.
Are you saying you don't believe in fairies, Matt?
I don't. No, I'm anti-fairy.
Wow.
So you're specifically, it's not that you don't believe in them specifically, it's that you are all full-blown anti-fairy. Like
I'm anti-fairy. I'm a fairy skeptic.
He's
I have a
Antifa.
podcast. Debunk fairy debunkers.
That's the real Antifa.
Getting back to the caller's question here, though, but there are people specifically in QAnon who are just a lost cause. A lot of them are. I mean, I've discussed this actually, where this isn't even like, there are groups out there from like people who got out of white supremacist organizations who try to save young people who fall into those movements, and those are completely legit, and that could happen. And they have a better chance of doing that than anyone, I think, has a chance of getting QAnon people out of their movement. I mean, the QAnon people are so far in and lost in deep that really the best thing we can do right now is just hope no one else falls into it. And no, go ahead.
Oh, continue. I'm sorry. What I was going to say is that's the scary thing is I've cut those people out long time. Like there's nothing you can do, but you're seeing it. Like I'm seeing it in like friends and acquaintances, coworkers biting into little pieces of it. And that's what draws them in. And then they go down, quote unquote, the rabbit hole and get full indoctrinated. So, I'm trying to push back and like Do you have sources? Do you have like something that we can like go over? Like human trafficking and pedophilia, those are problems.
No.
But
See,
you pay attention on something that isn't.
One of the best, honestly, one of the best things I've seen to convince those I don't know what to call them, people who aren't in so deep. They're just lightly looking into it. They just recently found out about it. They're still on the brink of being convinced that it's all bullshit. Literally, just like you got to get enough people joking and mocking it. Like literally, like it's got to be so ridiculous. Like you have to make them think that the broad consensus, even among their own friends, is that this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Like we should be laughing at this. Like convincing them that like, no, this is not real. Let me show you this fact and that fact and that. Yeah. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter. It's just everyone wants to hear their own shit.
It is not about evidence. It's about the social surroundings, right?
Yes.
That's 100% what it is.
And I think that everyone has time right now. Being on lockdown is like that. They're going down these YouTube click holes. Like I saw somebody post a comment on something where I pushed back on like, well, have you seen this documentary? I open it up. I forget. I'm not even give it the time of day with the name of it, but I'm like, okay, maybe I need to be open-minded to see maybe there's something I'm missing. Within the first 2 minutes, they're saying the wildfires that ravaged my neighborhood, friends of mine losing their houses, was somehow a hoax. Vaccines, chemtrails, reptilian people. I'm like,
are you talking about that? I forgot the exact name.
Well, that's true.
In the fall of the cabal or something like that.
That's a different one. Okay, no, but literally,
there's multiple.
I mean, you're right about the lockdown because I've looked into this extensively, and QAnon, while it was already a thing taking off, it really has seen a boom during the lockdown, and that's one of the. This wasn't purposely done. I want to give them credit, but one of the things that makes QAnon so much more dangerous than other conspiracies, and I think I explained it like this the very first time I came on the show to discuss it with Sam in 2017, is that QAnon is a conspiracy theory incubator. It's not like the other conspiracy theories out there. It's not like Pizzagate alone. It's not like the Epstein stuff alone. It's an incubator for all these conspiracies. So they all feed off of each other. So even if you try to knock down one, there's others to hold it up. If you look at the vast amount of anti-vaxxers who just recently got into QAnon around March and April of this year, it's like a whole separate movement that was gigantic and huge and dangerous in its own right, basically combined with QAnon to form something even more dangerous. And you're going to see it with more of these separate conspiracy theory movements down the line. And that's really what makes QAnon so honestly horrific. I mean, you have conspiracy theorists who they're not even on the same page. Percentage of QAnon people believe Robert Kennedy Jr., JFK is still alive or whatever. And then another percentage thinks that's bullshit, but it doesn't matter because they all come together for the prime reason that, hell, this is all stuff that's going to help Trump. And we believe in the main thing, that all these different forces are coming together to stop Trump, but he's going to take them all down.
The only thing I would recommend
really
is
confident for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think you need to not engage in them about the QAnon or anything related to QAnon stuff. If you have somebody that's into that stuff, the best thing you can do is send them news articles about other stuff. Like talk to them about Vincent Bevan's Jakarta method and like the conspiracy to kill communists. Like that, engage with them about real conspiracies. Don't say like, here's the real thing and just say like, oh, I see you're into conspiracies. Here's some other stuff. And maybe you can try to like, put some good nutrition into their, awful shit diet. But engaging them frontally, people's egos are too big to ever actually challenge their own convictions on certain things.
Yeah. You can't challenge a delusion outright. You have to go at it tangentially. And that's something that therapists put into practice. I mean, it's really hard, but sometimes I think if you take a look at conspiracies from a leftist perspective, that might help change people's tune who are, maybe not rich and maybe not too far gone yet. Like we've dealt with some of these on the Antifada and our side project Prolet Cult. They do a real good job on TrueAnon, Brace and Liz, and they're funny. Right. So I don't know. The meme wars, if someone's younger, I feel like just coming across various memes on the internet can change their minds about what they believe in, which is crazy to think about. But like one guy we had on talked to somebody who like used to identify as an eco-fascist and like a few years later is a left communist or an anarchist based on just traveling around the internet. The internet is so weird, guys.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of QAnon, though, one interesting thing is the demographic is sort of changing a little bit now in terms of the age demographic, thanks to the lockdown and the diversity of the age groups that are skeptical of the coronavirus. As crazy it is to say that. But there's a reason why QAnon took off with baby boomers leading the charge in the beginning. And that's because the idea that Donald Trump is trying to take down a satanic child trafficking ring spearheaded by the liberal elite in Hollywood and the Democratic Party sounds insane to most people who aren't so susceptible to this sort of fake news cockamamie bullshit. So, I mean, again, it's changing now a bit, but... And it's sort of, the interesting thing about mocking it is a lot of the people who would spread this QAnon stuff on 4chan when it started would do it like sort of laughing about it as well. And then the boomers would come and not sort of get the 4chan, way they talk there. And then they would take that stuff and start sharing it as if it was true to the word and not like as if it's a big joke like it was to a lot of those channers.
Oy.
So
can boomers even get on 4chan? Like, I can't even figure out how to look at 4chan.
Right. I mean, that's sort of, again, why this stuff is, you have people accessing platforms they don't quite understand. Too. Yeah, well, it's not on, QAnon's been kicked off 4chan for a while. This is really early on. But I mean, that's part of the reason why this stuff sort of takes off.